So from leading on from that, we then went on and got into the Jump project, which is what Becky and I are talking about. What do you want to say about it, Becky?
Very little, because I'm going to introduce it in the presentation, but just to say that the lead partner is, I'm going to use my best French, Francois will be impressed, Fédération Éco-Construire, and they initiated the project, so it's important we mention them just now. But yeah, hopefully everything will be clear when the presentation happens in a minute or so. So I think we will just...
So before we go to the presentation, we just wanted to have a little play with you and a little game, because one of the things about Jump is that it's about playing around and doing little exercises and games and so on. And obviously it would be easier if we were all in the same room, but we're not. So what I'm going to do is to put up a link in the chat. And you can go to that link, open that link. Let me see. Control V. There's your link. You just click on that link, and it'll take you to. Now let's just see. There's my. I'm going to now share my screen, and you can now see, hopefully, my screen. And you can see a screen that says, give one word for change. And so you just write on the link that I've sent you your one word for what you think change means or is about. And hopefully it will come up in real time, and we can see what the different attitudes to the word change are. Because Jump is called Training for Change. And of course, making earth building real here and around the world is about making change of some sort. But you can talk about change in whatever way you want. Communication has come up on my screen, and hopefully it's come up on your screens as well. And transformation. That's it. We've only got 40 words, so you've got to get your word in quickly. If you want to...
People are saying I haven't received your link, so it's in the chat on the stage, isn't it? Is that right? Which chat have you put it in, Roland?
It is on the chat. Yeah, I've put it into. I put it into the event chat.
Okay, so
and yeah, it's there. I can.
It's now on stage as well.
I can put it there again. Is it? Yeah, I've just put it there again. But yeah, some people have found it because,
well, it's working.
What we're getting, yeah, and if you like a word, then yes, you can write it again. So collaboration has been written by at least 2 people, and then it gets a little bit bigger, and we see that change is also connected with collaboration and cooperation, listening. It's better, it's transformation and adaptation and revolution and development and innovation. And what else? And it's curious, yes. And save and education and adaptation and transformation are coming up quite strongly. Yeah, there you go. So these are the kinds of little games that we're playing with the Jump project, and that we've been playing quite a lot this year because we've been online quite a lot this year, and it's an opportunity to use these tools and to get people going, even though they may be far from the room that you happen to be in. So I'm going to stop that now, and Becky is going to share her screen and tell you go a little bit deeper.
Okay, so that's the perfect introduction to the Jump project. All of those words will hopefully come up as we go through it in more detail. Just a quick comment on the chat. Yeah, most people are chatting in the stage chat rather than the event chat. So I think we'll try and keep an eye on both, but while things are running on stage, the stage chat makes sense to me. Mostly things will happen on screen, but if you do have something you want to say, yeah, use the stage chat. Okay, well, I think that's us ready to look at jump in more detail, and then we'll come back and chat some more. Okay. So what's going to happen now is a presentation will appear, and then we'll
the little wave you got there was from Morgan. I'm not sure that you've met Morgan. Morgan is part of the Ibuki team. She has got everything together technically, and you'll be seeing her coming and going through the day. So, yeah.
Okay. Today I'm going to try and tell you about jump in 20 minutes, which is pretty much impossible, actually, but I'll give it my best shot. And I should confess that well, first of all, I've changed out my pajamas, which is good. And secondly, I'm doing my best to use new technology because I'm building my skills. And so this is a presentation that I'm recording a couple of days before. I have some dogs nearby. The postman may knock on the door. The rain is getting quite heavy. So there's lots of things that may come in and affect how things are. But I hope you'll bear with me. It means I can practice my editing expertise if things do go a bit crazy. And what else to say? If we were doing jump in a non-digital setting, or even in a small digital place where we can communicate, because that's the weird thing. I can't see you. I can't even see myself. But I'd talk about something that you had in your hand. We'd look for something maybe in your home or nearby that means something to you. We probably would share where we are. We might describe our place, how it feels. Is it cold? Is it warm? We might describe our mood. We'd probably check in about, if there's anything we need. We might talk about breaks and make sure we're looking out for each other. So just that's the kind of, I'm just introducing some of the ideas of jump. But if I don't get on soon, we won't get through my presentation. So, and just one more thing. Sound. This is something we tried in a digital meeting earlier in the year when we did try and share all sorts of things using sound effects. So the honky horn may come out if the dogs don't respond too badly. So jump, what is it? A train the trainer project in the field of ecological building. And of course, a lot of us here are earth builders, but it also involves straw builders and timber framers, all kinds of people with skills with natural materials. It aims to combine technology and vision into something greater, which is sustainable, holistic, and humanistic. I'm not going to read everything you see on the screen, but we'll see how time goes. Who is it? Lots of different European organisations. You can see all their logos from France, Germany, Austria, Sweden. I remembered everyone. And we're also funded by the Erasmus Plus programme. So where did it all begin? How did it begin? Actually, I wasn't there, I have to confess. I joined a bit later. But first of all, we wanted to gather what we knew. What was our experience and our knowledge? What were our attitudes to training? How did we teach? What activities did we do? And what were the outcomes we were looking for in our activities? So as often is the case in jump, we look at metaphors and different ways of structuring things, different ways of looking at them. And so all of this initial information became a tree. And in listening to a great diversity of trainers' voices, we developed an understanding that words have a limited ability to communicate meaning. Different people understand words differently, especially when they're from different countries. So we developed an awareness that a deeper meaning can sometimes be communicated through images and metaphors, which are clearer by being less specific. So you'll see a lot of metaphors, some of which make sense, others might just leave you curious, but that's maybe not a bad thing. So after that initial phase of gathering and harvesting, we discussed for hours and hours. We still discuss. We debate with passion, we play, and we played a lot, experimented, brainstormed, tested, reflected, laughed and cried. And then we came up with a cunning plan, a recipe for change, just like a big pot of gorgeous stew with many different flavours. So just to be clear what it looks like, it's a well-balanced and healthy meal in 4 modules and 8 units. You can eat them in any order. You can have them as snacks or a huge feast. And this is really important. They can be adapted to local ingredients. So the four modules, each with 2 units. Sustainability, both awareness and construction. Teach and learn the change, which is talking about the container, the person, the space that you're working with, and the content. Cooperation on a personal and very local level, and then getting bigger, regions, nations, international, all different levels. And assessment, all about what does assessment mean for learning, and how do we certify things and give awards. And we're playing around with this image on the right, a compass, as something that can help us find the way, that has directions, and again, deeper meanings. Some of us love it, others don't feel they need to use it, but it's there as an interesting tool. So the spirit of jump. How I'm going to do this is I'm going to explain in a bit more detail how one of the modules is looking. We'll get to the spreadsheets later. So just to give you an idea of where I sit within Jump, I'm a builder. I'm sure quite a lot of you know this, and more recently I'm an artist actually. There I said it, it's official. And so I have this background in heritage, but also I have this business called Rebirth. And then I came and joined eBucky. And this was a big moment for me because I stopped thinking just in my own little corner, and I started to be much more open to sharing what I knew and being part of something bigger. So this is myself moving into Jump. I came into Jump maybe halfway through, and I arrived just at the point when they needed a pilot. So a pilot is one of the Jump organisers. I mean, there's many different roles in Jump, but the pilot kind of runs the module. So with my trusty crew and my module, then we're going to jump. Okay. And here we're jumping straight into the module that I've been looking after with a team called Cooperation. So that's one of the main modules, the glue that binds us together, and sits absolutely at the heart of Jump. And if anything, I mean, as pilots, we all make a big case for each module that we're in because we've got so immersed in it. But actually, in a way, you've got to start with cooperation whenever you want to change something, especially globally. Well, really, no, at any scale, because if you don't get on with people, how are you going to make any change, you know? So it has to be the first thing in the story. Why? Well, it's all about relationships. Now, I know there's a lot of words on this page. I'm going to read it, but please, if it's just making you feel dizzy, shut your eyes for a minute and just listen. Vitality or life is created through relationships that build relationships, and so on. Think of soil and how soil becomes a forest or meadow where birds and insects find their homes and where lovers walk hand in hand. The most important aspect of a healthy body or healthy family or a healthy community is not the health of the individuals, but the relationships between them. A family has several generations of relationships in multiple directions within a culture, within history. The relationships matter, and each communication within them also matter. This relational process is what life is made of. And that was a quote from Nora Bateson, if you're interested. So let's get back into a room of Jump trainers. It's about sharing expertise. And this is another huge aspect of the project, is we recognise that quite often somebody in the room is going to have the answer, not necessarily the trainer, quite often not the trainer. The answer is going to be out there, or as a team, we're going to find it together. So looking again at the module of cooperation, we want to drill down into what are the important themes and how are we going to teach these themes? What are we actually going to do? to make sure that our trainees, who will become trainers, understand and are able to use this stuff. And I'm not going to read that list out now, but that's basically the key themes that we have in cooperation. And each module will have similar kind of themes. The first theme I particularly like is participation. It's this sense of actually taking part and getting engaged in something bigger than ourselves, with others, with nature being anything that's in the living world, using senses, and which is really rooted in time and place. And I could talk endlessly about any bit of this description, but I just want to give you a flavour. Otherwise, I'll be here for probably the whole conference and you'll get bored of listening. Gratitude and appreciation, the next big thing. So if we show gratitude a little and often, we become more connected and we have better mental health. This is all scientifically proven. It can work on building sites, in training, but ultimately we might subvert a culture of dissatisfaction and greed. So in Jump, we look very carefully at the way these different activities and attitudes really affect us in training and in life. It's one of these things where it's all about training, but there's just huge application beyond. Another thing we look at, group agreements. This, you might do it, well, you can do it at any point of any event or in any part of the day when you're working with people, but it's a sort of contract that you make with them, where you agree the rules and boundaries. And we do this to nurture trust, to create solidarity and a common goal, and have harmony and respect. So one of our session plans is all about group agreements, how to make them and how to use them. And we probably talked about some rules at the start of this event, and that's a group agreement of sorts. So if you're clear at the beginning, everything can be much easier as you work through a project or an event. Co-creation. Well, honestly, as an earth builder, especially an earth builder in training and community projects, we do this all the time. So a lot of Jump, it's about working out what you already do and making it clear, structuring it, giving it, and then sharing with other people what you do and encouraging them to do it too. So here we're making something together. So there's the practical, physical stuff, and there's also the process. We might be designing. It might be an artistic thing. We might even work out the architecture together. It's the process that empowers, engages, inspires. But as I say, it's what we do. So we're good at it usually. Cooperation in ecosystems. I like the phrase "nature's teacher" here, because it's all about, again, taking what we know about living systems and using them within the training program. So we're looking at principles and metaphors, reciprocity, interdependence, synergy, collective intelligence. And again, partly I'm not skilled enough to talk in depth about all of these, and I'm not an ecologist, but we can pull in sources from outside. We can use other experts if we want. Again, somebody in the room may know this scientific stuff in more detail, but it's about creating the connection with this kind of stuff, with our building, in natural materials, and also not just building, but the way we're interacting together in a training setting. Team building. So lots of games, tools and activities that we'll talk about in a little while, and for inclusivity, diversity, resilience, cohesion, but mainly for fun. So we do have exercises like this, which aren't particularly to do with Earth, but we play games and we learn about trusting each other and how to get along, how to create a good feeling in the room. But again, there are ways we can do this with Earth in our hands. There's just many different methods. Communication. Well, this could be, the subject for a month, because this is a huge field of insight and experience and knowledge that we can share with other people and show how to use to be better trainers. But if we remember some big important points, we want to be compassionate and authentic. We want to be clear about what we're doing. We want to talk or to communicate whatever we need to on time, before a training, after a training. We want to inspire people. We got many different methods. And something I'm particularly interested in is traditional ways of being and working. And oral culture is something that gives us stories, for instance, lots of other things too, but really to be a good trainer, you've got to be a good storyteller and invite stories from your trainees. And if we use communication well in all those different ways, then of course we're going to alleviate conflict and stress. And I love that picture because that's all the boots of the people in jump sitting around having a blether of an evening, sorting out the world. The next thing I would want to look at in a module about cooperation is networking. So we've gone up a bit of a scale now. We're talking about more sort of global, national, bigger scale cooperation. Networking is vital. I mean, we're doing it right here just now. A web of relationships, online, offline, local and global, with tools to navigate and orientate. So back to my compass, formally or informally. So in an event, we might have some kind of session on research, working out how to network better with who. But more importantly, in a way, at the end of the day, we're going to give time for informal networking. Collective action, yeah. I love the Mud Girls Manifesto and I highly recommend you look at it. It's a great example of doing things differently in business and building for social impact. And it's about equality and well-being. So one or more session plans that you might look at in your training program might be about different ways of working and exploring alternatives. Okay, another larger scale way of working is to have exchanges of some sort. And we call these mobilities, where we travel to different countries to share our knowledge. And we look at what we do, how we do it, why we do it. And it's not just skills that we exchange, it's knowledge. And again, it's about relationships and becoming more empowered ourselves with learning and about skills and different cultures. This, I have to explain this one a little bit. So on the right, there is a diagram. This is a local outdoor nursery that I worked with for a few years, and both our boys went there. And they worked with the local education authority to create a completely new curriculum based on natural cycles, natural wildlife, and heritage species, many different aspects about the identity of a place. And they built it into this spiral. And there was different spirals for different aspects of a child's development. And I don't need to tell you in detail how that works, but it's just having an understanding that you do not need to stick to conventional ways of looking. You can really invent new ways that children and parents can relate to, and that even an educational authority can accept as workable. So in working in this way, we've got partnerships and frameworks, but also this whole theme that I'm talking about is to do with standards, certification, and at different scales. So that's a quick run through of the themes. I'm just going to glance at my clock. Okay, we're doing okay, I think. But what does this all mean, all this jump stuff? Well, working with the earth seems to foster an authentic connection between people, free from posturing and prejudice that characterizes so much of human-to-human relating. So this is me coming back to the bit I know about, which is soil and how to build with it. And I know from my own work, often with people with all sorts of challenges and difficulties, that there is something about working together with your hands in a material like soil that it's kind of like a leveler. And people often open up and discuss really big issues while they're digging soil, building a wall. In this case, it's a turf wall in Iceland. So I just make a really strong case for weaving together the real practical stuff with the big thinky stuff. I like the word thinky. I know it's not a word, but it's the big thinky stuff. And transformation happens when people are able to move from me to we. And this is a picture of that outdoor nursery I mentioned in front of their earth building in my local village, and we built that together. So just to sort of come full circle from the beginning, where I talked about, I was very much not alone, of course. I got, I used to be in a great network, but since I've started working for my national organisation, which is eBucky, for Jump and for other projects where you've got partnerships, my own learning is skyrocketed, to be honest. And there's no need to be fearful of losing anything. I think I used to think that as a contractor, I had to have secrets and hold them tight and not share so much. But yeah, I'm realizing now I'm getting to an age where I am much more aware of being part of a bigger picture. So the exciting bit. Learning outcomes become real activities in sessions and session plans, exercises, games, core routines, designed for enjoyment, interest, and impact. A huge thing in Jump is questions, arousing curiosity and using questions to learn. And questions lead to questions, and so it goes on. We also have a mighty toolbox that Herbert and many other people have created with great skill, and it's growing all the time. Often resources pulled from elsewhere, often resources that we've improved upon and developed, and we're pooling them all together and giving insight into how they might be used. And then we also have spreadsheets. This is where I should really honk my horn.